solution is to use the road fund and get some facility out of some of our commercial bank to fund load the funding for us to get the bridges and the equipment in country, and then over time they're paid out of the road fund. And that's something that we do. So the initial allocation we have here for now, which is projected, is 10 million, and we hope that this amount can be negotiated with the bank through the Ministry of Finance to provide the funding that we need to get the equipment in country. So these are some of the interventions that we are expected to make. Of course, under the support to the ministries, to transport, which is doing work, to the Ministry of Public Works, we have intervention here, because again, like I said, with what we have as goods and services amount, it is clear that the Ministry of Public Works is going to be unable to do anything else. We have a soil lab that has no equipment. We need to rehabilitate that lab because it has to be up to standard to do the different soil testing and material testing required. We have to do that at the soil lab. So there's need for us to do so much there. We have to also get ICT equipment which will support the work that we are doing. Of course, we don't have any transportation right now for the employees. We're unable to get it. So we're going to be looking at also procuring 2 buses to transport the employees to work. The engineers can be coming to work late, and we expect so much of them. So under this new IMF, there are specific line items that will go as support to the Ministry of Public Works. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee and other senators here, this is my very brief presentation.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you.
And I know the rest can come in question. Thank you.
Thank you. So Buffalo doesn't exist?
Yeah, Buffalo does.
Well, we got to open it. We will start, we open the floor with Senator Dopo, followed by Senator Kone. Senator Dopo, followed by Senator Kone, then Brown. Senator Dillon, Jala. Lofa County. Yeah, Babolo is on already, so you will come later. Senator Kane. Senator Babula, your name Daba, you know why you main crew? Okay, see me later. You know that nobody told you that. But when you call it accent, someone said Java, it gets in the first meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I listened to the Minister of Public Works. Before I go to the detailed point, there's something I didn't understand. The Minister, you talk about some role in Backville financed by the Indian. Is that it is some financing that we're going to pay back?
Yes, it's a loan, but it was done.
It's a loan, okay.
Yeah.
Then why should they restrict us, or which company will deal with when we are the one paying back?
Well, so
because you say the Indian company.
Yeah, the way the loan is the Indian SM Bank. So the way the loan is done, once they give you the loan, it has to be an Indian company to do the work. And we rectify it, the last government ratified it, and we have to work with that. Of course, they were also asking for almost 90% of the imports to be imported into the country. but we ought to get them to agree to, I think, 60 should be 60-40 or 65-35. So the India company will be hired as the consulting firm. The India company will be hired as the construction firm, and we will work with them because they're paying for it. Yeah.
Then Tottenham was better because financing agreement about the same thing. Okay, so that the next one I want to ask on the East International, Mr. Minister, that role, the RRA role, is a financing agreement. At some point in time, the government of Liberia gave some money towards that, I think up to 20 million. Are they going to pay back the money to the government?
So, the project was a pre-financing project. In fact, that project was designed in a way that East should have secured their own money, invest in the road, reach a milestone, and then they are paid by the government. But initially, there was an advance payment of 19 plus 120 million to East. Besides that, there was also 2 guarantees that were done by the last government for East to get loan from the Afri-Exim Bank and eBay. So right now, I've written the Minister of Finance because I've been trying to get the financial records from them so they write directly to the bank to know how much has been disbursed to East to date. So we do what you call a technical audit to compare disbursement to physical work. That is the stage, that's where we are now. But we still pay for the loan. The Ministry of Finance is now paying on the loan that was taken from the Afri-Exim Bank and the ECOWAS Investment Bank.
Yes, but financial-wise, that action will have changed the transaction because we made, that is a form of lump sum payment that we're making to a financing agreement that should have been done over a period of time, that payment. That 20 million was a big amount to that agreement. So it should have impacted, one, out the balance payment for interest and other things. But we didn't recalculate the transaction. We just pay it and we say we're paying against. I think we have an issue financially with that because it was a financing agreement.
Yes.
Okay. Even though it was not ratified by the legislature. Let's go.
No, it was ratified by the legislature.
No, it was not.
Which one?
It's international.
Oh,
in the
okay.
54, it was not.
Okay.
It was a transfer of one transaction to the other. It was not ratified. Okay, so please, I'm concerned about the solar. I heard you say, I don't know, you're trying to appease the legislature that the solar street line will be coming around and so far. But it will be good for us to know exactly the communities or the area, the various streets that the lights will be going to. Reason being that for the last 6 years, we've been allotting money or appropriating money for solar street lights. We want to see the difference between the first activity and your activity. So we want to know the community or the area, the street, the corridors that you'll be putting your solar lights so we can see the durability of the solar light. I'm just concerned about that. I don't know which role you say Kanwekin to Jiken. In River G, we get so many Jiken. So we get Chedepo Jiken, it means you're going off the road. We get Sapo Jiken, which is also a quota now. So I'm kind of concerned because the reason I'm concerned about that is that there were a couple of rules that in 2024 that you submitted to the legislature and to the committee. Okay, and there was 5 rules in there for River G County, 5 feeder rules. Okay, even recently your public work team met with the citizen and even verify those rules. Now I'm seeing here now those rules are not in your 2025 plan. The road to Ubo, Global Ubo, going toward the Côte d'Ivoire side. The road to a major trade corridor to Uboken in what we call G2. That's a border point. We have a custom border there. That will be also part of this road. Tatuken and so forth. But then I'm not seeing it here in your 2025, but it's part of the outstanding in your 2024. So I'm concerned, is that why you are swapping to GK, Chedepo GK, or we other GK talking about? They're getting off the road to go in.
Where is the one that corridor that connects to Grand Coup? And that's where we had, I think that's where we had
But then
the
you go
situation
into
with the
Bois
bridge.
GK.
Yeah, Bois GK, that's it. But
roads of white
the other roads you're talking about, on our feeder road project supported by CDAT, there are roads that are done by our Rural Development Community Services Unit, paid for by CDAT. CDAT has a whole program. Even
So
in Lofa, in
Mr. Minister, let me bring you to
places.
something. Why
So-
we cannot use CEDA for this role? In the 54th, the argument came for almost 3 years. The CEDA fund, it was stated that it cannot be used for roads that are going into logging corridor. Yes, that is the reason why we advocated, work with the Ministry of Public Works, that these roads, since these are area of logging, that the government should fund them. Because it is very government that passed a law to hold our forests for a long period of time. So this government should fund it. That's the reasons why the then minister accepted, and they even opened a bid on this road, because CEDA was not going to fund it. I just want to give you that information.
Yes, so I know what you're talking about. And one of the corridor was done for pavement. And we look at that project. It's a project that we can go with. Because they were doing, they were supposed to stabilize it and they were using it's not concrete, but they were stabilizing it and using concrete as stopper. It was almost 60 million for it.
It's our role, because in your 2024 plan, the total of those roads I just measured about 2.5 million. So I think it's different road we're talking about.
2.5 million.
Yes.
But let me check. Let me check on it. If it's there, that may possibly works may have been done, because there's some under the rural roads that work was done.
No work has been done.
No work has been done.
No work.
I will check it.
Yeah.
I will check it, Senator. I will check it. On the solar lights that you asked about, the communities, like now you see, we met a project that we electrify the whole of central Monrovia. Like you can see, West Point, past the Slewway. We're also going to be electrifying the GSA community, the Zubatan community, the Duporo, parts of Zizi community, Bannersville, junction to Bannersville Estate. That other community will electrify also. What I highlighted here on the line is within the vicinity of the legislature. That's where we're going to install the lights for visibility during the night. This specifically going to happen for the legislature. But there are other communities that are named that will be electrified with the solar lights. We started that already. If you go around, you can see what the town look like now. If you come to town in the night, it's up to 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, people are everywhere. And we're going to continue with that in those communities that are listed. Hopefully in the next 3 to 4 months, you'll see that happening. And it's good for off-grid, because we don't have a lot of energy on-grid, so we put the street lights off-grid. So if LEC is not around, you still have the communities lighted up for security and to aid them, yeah.
Follow up, please. My last point was a follow up to that is a concern. We're spending up to $2 million of the Liberian people money that the people in the southeast contributed to, also in taxes, to buy free oil, especially in G County. And Fishtown is not called.
So what we intend to do is that during the next budget, as we've done with the, with the capital, which have a lot of people in here, and we feel we should start from here, we're also going to target the different counties' capital to do the solar light project. That's something that we're definitely going to do. Even with paving the county capitals, we're going to go to those counties, and that's where Babalu comes in. Because Babalu should have been paved by now. Like we know what happened with a contract that we have for Babalu, which funding was paid and no work was done. So we have Babalu as number 1 on the pavement next year in the capital, and that's rigid pavement. So with that and solar lights, that's what we're intending to do. And I can assure Babalu that we'll do that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will start, then my colleague will also use some of the time allotted for Papulu. Thank you for that update. Really, It was disheartening to see that money was disbursed for our city streets, but no work was done. We look forward to working with you on that. I see that under Annex 1, I see that some work was done in the 100-day deliverables on the road. But Mr. Minister, I just want you to know that the Broadville, Bummy to Bapulu corridor, most of that work, the stretch of that road, most of it is in Monrovia and Bummy. Only very small is in our county. The corridor, the continuation of that corridor from where the work stopped to our county really is the longest stretch in our county that wasn't, done.
Okay.
I just want to bring that to your attention. Our people struggle during the rainy season, and it's our main corridor to Monrovia, the economic center. If you could go back and work with your technical team to really prioritize that this dry season, that would be great. Through the caucus was able to prevail on Biochico to open the other road through Topmanburg to just give relief to our people. But the main corridor is the Broadville-Bopolu corridor. You did most of the work in Monserrado and Bummy. The Bopolu part is still not done yet. I just want to bring that to your attention. The other part to bring to your attention is your 2025 plan. We want to thank you so much for the bridge rehabilitation at Dakota. That bridge collapsed when back in 2019, 2018. It's been a long time. So the road leading to the bridge and into the next district from the main Belayala road is covered by vegetation now. And I don't see that here. Even when you fix the bridge, if you don't open that road, it will still be useless. So we want you to please consider that, just reopen that road so that it's passable again. But we hope that you can accelerate that bridge this year. Let me tell you, my colleague will come in, Mr. Chair. Let me tell you about the significance of that bridge. There's a district in our country called Gunwulala district. It's surrounded by the Tuma River to the north, no bridge connecting Lofa. The Simpo River to the south, no bridge connecting with Bon County, our cousins, to connect with the main highway. And then we have what's the other river name? The Via River. The Tuma is the western part towards Bopolu, where this bridge is. Via River is with Lofa. So this big district, one of the biggest in our county, is surrounded by these bodies of water with no bridges at all. So you can imagine it to be like an island surrounded by water. Our people are farmers, mainly farmers. They live there, growing their own food, even surplus, to the point where to get it to the market in Bopolu or the market in Bong and Magibi is not possible for them. And then there's post-harvest losses, which is not a good incentive for agriculture. So building this bridge and opening this road is so important for their well-being. And we, the caucus, are appealing to you with your support, Mr. Chairman, that we should prioritize this and fix this so that our people on that side can be connected and then they can move on with their lives. Plus opening the main road, connecting Bopolu, our city, with the capital, Monrovia, would be really good. We're not asking for much. Just those two corridors would be critical. And then we'll come to you next year for another area called Kongba. Yes, the bridge, there's a bridge on that road, the Bamboo Town Bridge. Every now and then our people will go there and demonstrate and stop cars from passing over the makeshift something we have there. Now, let me tell you, we in the caucus and our people have decided to use some of our county money to fix that bridge. But the government has, told us that they are going to fix that road, so the bridge is in the works. So this dry season, can you commit to us here on record that as part of the rehabilitation of the Monrovia to Bopolo corridor, that you will complete that bridge? It's a major bridge, but it's not working.
Yes. Please tell them to hold a little bit. So thank you, Senator. Yes, the Dakota Bridge is something that we take seriously, and the intent is for us to connect Bapolu to Lofa. So we want to finish that bridge, which is a key piece to that, and begin looking forward to doing the connection. We're also doing a bridge in Bum that will also connect Bum to Bopolu, to Bapolu. Yes, yes. I think it's the Arrow Group should be doing it.
Yeah.
Beginning to do it now. So that process has started already. And the president has highlighted that before he leaves, he wants to see that we can connect Bopolu to Lofa.
Yeah.
So by next year, it's going to be a priority for us as the Ministry of Public Works to do so.
Okay.
So we're definitely going to do it. So Bapolu is really being thought about in a very serious way.
Okay,
Senator.
But this bridge, the Bamuta Bridge is a hotbed for us right now.
We send our team. We send a team there to look at it. Is that? Oh, yeah, yes.
Oh, what page?
Okay, let me see. Okay, so it's new. So it's page 6.
Of Annex 2?
No, page 6, in New Works, Annex 2, D1E12, and that's relaunching the Bapo Town Bridge in Bapolo County. Yes.
Where is that? D1?
So it's here.
Sorry.
Page 6, look on page 6, D1E12, new.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see it.
So, our bridge unit consider that.
Very good.
So we get started with it to start the launch, yeah.
I see it, okay.
Yeah.
Senator Magay, 1 minute please, then I will yield. Thank you for that. Do you know when they will finish it?
Well, Senator, let it get started.
But you think you will finish it this dry season?
Well, I hope we can. I hope we can. If the procurement process starts.
Okay. Then the Monrovia to Topmanburg corridor, that road connects our region to Monrovia.
So,
what's the status
so
there?
we've had an expression for that corridor by one of our partners, which I will not say now because it's not consummated yet. We also have a private financing company that have interest to do a hybrid BOT, build, operate, and transfer, but certain portion of the funding based on the proposal will be paid for by the government using the road fund. And that's why I said, if we are able to allow the road fund to work properly, we can use the road fund as collateral. We don't have to provide guarantee. So there's interest in that corridor already. We're just waiting to see how far that can go in the negotiation with it between this our partner that has always contributed to road, but I won't say it now because it's not consummated yet, and also this private firm that's introducing the BOT. So we'll see how that works. But there's traction on that particular corridor, which is very key up to Bowater side. Yeah. We'll go there, Senator. Yes.
Thank you, Protem. I want to thank the Minister for the presentation. My recommendation, Protem, is that next time, let's get the presentations on time. I was on my way to session when I was handed this long presentation. It's good to improve our oversight, to follow up on what you're doing. It's better we get on time. If we got on time, you spoke almost over 1 hour. It should have been, maybe you need to just introduce and go to the dialogue. But nevertheless, my first engagement is you inherited a project from the African Development Bank. That is the Harper to Fishtown corridor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that road hasn't been certified as 100% completed, because the pavement, some parts of the road, pavement, the first course was placed of alpha pavement, but the second part or the final phase hasn't been done. When will the Harper Fishtown Road under the funding of African Development Bank be completed? That's my first question. When will it be? Because we seem to be going further, other roads. I don't want us to lose track of that road. Some of the remedial works, I think it should be done so that we can finally satisfy that road has been completed. That's my first concern.
You want me to respond to that?
Yeah, why the program is discussing with. Yeah.
Okay, so that project should have been ended ever since, but there was some issue with extra works. So the government worked with the African Development Bank, and they established the variation on both of the projects from Kaloke to Fishtown.
Right.
There's 27 kilometers.
And then Kaloke to Harper.
Yeah, so Kaloke to Harper is in the, of course, maintenance stage now. But Fishtown, Kaloke to Fishtown,
yeah,
is the project that needs actual completion works.
Right.
There's drainage system to do, and there's also the second layer on the corridor.
Right.
We have about 27 kilometers that just one course, binder course, and no wiring course yet.
Right.
So the funding was approved already for completing the project. Also on the Fishtown to Kilibo, the same. But there was some issue with the contractor. Chico was debarred in Uganda, okay, for something that went wrong, and so it affected the global brand. So the African Development Bank, they were suspended for a year. So by next month, no, by March, the debarment will be over. That is why that project has not been completed. So they are not to do any work until March. So after March, they will do all the final works, and the project will be completed.
Thank you. Please make sure that's done. Then I listened to you when you talk about the African Development Bank funded project. You talk about some misuse or misapplication of funding.
Yeah.
I would like to know who were the contractors or partners that misused or misapplied the funding.
Well, it was under a project we called the labor-based project, and also something done with LACE and Public Works at the time. And the audit was done, and they saw that they have what you call special accounts that are used for the project, but they are specified as to what the expenditure should be. And so if the sector ministry or agency go ahead and expend that money outside of the arranged expenditure, though they spend it for something that may be actually seen with all the financial documents, it's not like they use it for can report for it, but they misapply it. The bank has problem with that. So that amount came up to 800,000, and it affects all the projects that they finance. So they said to the government, we'll lump sum this amount, and since the labor-based component on a public work and lease are the biggest component, you have to pay this money back to the account, which will still impact the projects for special spending. But if you don't pay it, we will not disburse on the other projects. So that is why we have to come back and pay that money so that we open up disbursement on the project. So we just misapply.
Government is paying that money on behalf
back to the project, yeah, on behalf of government.
On behalf of LACE.
Yes, and
All
Public
right.
Works.
We'll do a follow-up. My last point is, I listened to you about the border post construction in local tour. But I thought that there was to be a border post in border in Maryland County between Maryland and Ivory Coast.
It's been constructed, yes. There will also be a border post on the side. In fact, that process has started.
Right. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, the bridge
Yeah.
or Kavala, everything is.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, it started already.
Yeah.
It started. The construction of the bridge,
They
contractor
started
has
the
mobilized.
preliminaries, the
Yes.
mobilization on our side. I just from there I saw what they are doing there, and so yes, the presiding is asking because we didn't hear that from the.
Oh, for the briefing,
from
yeah.
the briefing.
See, I think
but,
we're just asleep.
But
yeah.
I'm aware that there's some work on that side.
Yeah, they started.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Yeah.
Hey man, one for your time. Thank you. Thank you, President. Okay, Mr. Minister.
Yes, Senator.
Do I have the saying? Mr. Minister, let me start with a commendation for the Banga Vonjima Road. I was in Lopa for the Christmas, and I had an easy ride. All I need from that is my assurance that when it begins to rain, I can go also to Lofa with ease. Because the dry season always a time for fun and good time. But by the time the first rain falls, then we begin to have a change, in the performance of the road. So that will be my first item I would like you to please know when you're commenting. Whether you can show me the road that you have now to Vonjama is going to be in place when it begins to rain. Secondly, you attempted to talk about some connecting roads from Kolahon. Can you talk about the Kolahon Lukame belt? The Lukame belt is the one that comes to Bapolo and Bombing. That road has been a road made by the hands of the people. Sometimes the government go and help a bridge. So it's a very important corridor that people don't think about. It's a road from Kolahon to Lukame. That is a back door to Bapolo and Bombing. It was a road they were using toddler time to come to Monrovia. People used to walk and get come quickly. So the roads were most of the time, done by hands, and then sometimes they help out with bridges and things. So it's one of the roads connecting to Kolahon. Did you also talk about Vahon? Did I mishear you?
Yeah, Vahon, yeah, we intervened on that.
So maybe if you can throw some light on those two corridors, it would be fine for me. Then my other inquiry, if you can take a note, would be, you talk about the Japanese coming in by the middle of the year, okay, for Johnson Street Bridge to the Bush Road Island. Would that not impact the performance in the rain? I thought the timing it matters in this kind of a development. You can take note of the last point. The last concern will be I have heard a lot about the overhead bridge in Congo Town, but I haven't seen any physical drawing or design that could help us to know how we'll be benefiting. Whether people will still be walking from the football field, whether vehicle will be able to utilize anything when it's done. So I would like some comment on that. And finally, and lastly, is that at this time and age, should there be any part of Lofa that people will not have access to motor road? Thank you.
So thank you, Senator. Let me start from the last question. There shouldn't be anywhere around the country where people can access. I mean, everywhere should be accessible, but we all know there are, constraints in terms of the resources to do so. If we had all the money, we need about anywhere 4.5 to $5 billion to pave all our roads, to make the entire place, including the feeder and secondary road, accessible. if we have the resources to do so. Yeah, even with the connection. Yeah. So I'm sure with the finally getting to the point where we can set up our maintenance zones, which is something that the president is key on and will happen. I'm sure over time, accessibility will not be an issue like you're saying, Senator, across the country. On the second one going up, which is the overpass, we're trying to finalize the, getting the corridor ready. We have to do demolition again of additional funding, additional properties. So on the budget, when I was highlighting, you see there's funding we need to get out of the budget to pay to properties owner. The additional properties we have to demolish. So the contractors cannot get in that corridor until we turn the site over. We are also discussing with utilities companies like Water and Soil, LEC, the cell phone companies. They got the cables ordered. We have to completely get the site ready. So we in that process. Once that's happened and the contractor mobilized, you will see the design. It will be on billboard as to what the bridge will look like. In terms of the Japanese coming, if the Japanese do come in July and they set up their camps, the Japanese can work anytime, even if it's raining. They will create the access to where traffic can flow on one side and they continue to work on the other side. But we know that before they get here, set up the camp, actually get mobilized to start physical work, will be likely into the next dry season. That is why we are making the interventions we are making now in the corridor between Gabriel Tucker Bridge and Freeport, so that when the rain sets in, we are able to ensure that there's a free flow of traffic in that corridor. The road you spoke about, the Vahome connecting to Bombing and Bapulu, are very clear about that. That's why we are doing these bridges, that we end up connecting. The intent is to connect Bombing, Bapulu to Lofa and Bom as possible as we can. And so all the bridges that should be built to connect those counties, that's what we're getting involved with. When the bridges are done, then of course creating the access, like opening up new roads and opening up existing footpath will not be an issue. So it is our objective, and that's where we are heading to. And next year will be, the next budget next year will be, there will be key program in there to specifically deal with those interventions. You asked the question about to guarantee on the 100 days, the corridor from Salaya to Vonchima. Yes, and I would say that, we started in April last year, and this year, there can be too much excuse for why the road will fail during the rain. So the contractors are there working. We are making sure the proper supervision will be done. We also introduce stabilization. There are places where we use some additive to harden the soil in certain corridors that are not okay, and to put in the drainage system properly. So we're doing everything we can with our engineers to make sure the road perform better than the last rainy season. That's what we are committed to, and we will make sure that happens.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity. Let me just say clearly that I am also a member of the Public Works and Rural Development Committee in the Liberia Senate. And so every time out there on the roads, I pay a lot of attention because I feel it's an oversight that I have responsibility to. So I take key notes when I'm traveling on these roads. Recently I came from Sino, and I'm happy to talk about the bridge, the Cecil Bridge that got broken, because it would take about 2-3 hours to take the RTR road, and that was stressful. And honestly, you coming back, just one day rain, the road, the bypass started to get messed up. So if that particular bridge is not taken care of ASAP, you have a whole region being cut off. Just to let you know, yeah. I'm not from that region, but I feel that there are pains if that particular bridge is not catered to in the soonest possible time. Because the bad roads, just one rain, it's messed up already. Yeah. So I can imagine if they have 3 or 4 days raining in succession, there'll be no road going to Sino. But the most important thing, and I want to stress on, is when in your presentation you talk about 2 companies did not perform and they had to be terminated. So my question is, were they giving fundings for mobilizations? And if they were giving funding for mobilization, since they were terminated, would they be, or did they return the money, or they would be made to return the money? Maybe I just ask all my questions. And you just answer.
Yeah. Okay. So with the first company, they were given mobilization, yes, and the percentage that they achieved between the Buchanan to Saturday Town corridor was not up to what was required. We have spoken to our legal people to look at the issues on what they provided in terms of guarantees so that we're able to recover that. The second company, they've completed first payment works. There was certificate issue. They did the second payment, there was certificate issue. But to begin to invest now in the corridor, to continue working, to close up on the contract, they have not mobilized. And for us, if they don't do that, they didn't owe us any money. So maybe because they didn't owe us any work, they have completed the work and they were paid for that. So they've been a little reluctant to continue. And I would say that company, to an extent, could likely be in the corridor to do pavement up to Zwerju for the first 40 kilometers. So it could be an attitude of reluctancy. But there's a 75 kilometer up to Zwerju that we cannot allow to remain unhandled or the intervention continue to improve on before the rain comes. So we thought that with the advice of our technical people, having visited the site and the resident engineers from both counties, from Nima and Grange, their recommendation was that the attitude from the company is a little lackadaisical. So we need to take an action now before the dry season gets, done, and then we are stuck with this, and they are not performing. So we just, and in the contract that I developed for public works, the minister has the authority to, by convenience, cancel any contract. So we just invoke that clause and we cancel it to make sure we get the corridor functioning. So that company does not really owe us any, and there's no obligation.
Next concern, Mr. Minister, is I was looking at your contractors and payments done to them. I see a particular company called the SSF that's gotten almost all of the contracts paid. It's only one that hasn't gotten paid. Why are they giving so much preference?
Well, I don't think it's preference. It's they got contracts that they inherited, a lot of contracts, okay, that they inherited, that we met them with. And I don't like to speak for a company, but I think in terms of performance, especially on paved corridors, SSF is one of the companies that usually do a lot of work when it comes to pavement. To be frank, if you see the work, the GSA road, they did that. They did the bypass, what they would call the Bishop McAfee Road. They did the Marshall Road. They always go and finish projects. So if they are performing and they are getting contracts and they need to get paid, like now they are paving the Matali corridor. They're in Matali doing pavement. They are completing the work in Peace Island. If they've done and complete the work, they have to get paid. So there are other companies that are marching up. And don't forget, it has been one of the only companies, I would say, mix a Liberian and a Lebanese company, you would say, because he's a Lebanese person, his wife is a Liberian, that had been in the pavement, especially for paved roads, over many years. Now you got some Liberian companies that are coming up, pure Liberian companies like MDMC, like Quality Group, they're also competing. And we want to see other Liberians at that level. So if the person work and they complete their work and they have to get paid, you have to pay them. And most times some of the contracts they win is out of a competitive process, and you want a company that can do the work. So, yeah.
I'm from Lofa, and I traveled to Lofa just a few weeks ago, and I was on the corridor from Vonyama to Kolaun Foya. And I see in your documents paid. I may be wrong about it, but that corridor is yet not completed.
Yes, so payment is done based on phases. So the contract is divided into stages. So it's a 30% mobilization, and the contractor work up to 65, then they are paid. Then they work up to 90, then they are paid, then you will hold 10% for retention. So they have not reached the end of the stage yet. So they have to complete and turn the project, or if I want to turn the corridor over, we will hold 10% for retention. So that's 2 payments have been made to them. There's 2 more other payments. So they're still working. That contract is up to 2026. So they still have to now maintain the corridor until the rain comes and turn it over next year, March. It's 2 years. So they should go back and now get the corridor ready for the rains, so that the last rainy season that corridor performed, one of the corridors that performed from Vonjama straight to Foya Minikoma. So they would now work and get it ready for the next dry season. Next year, March, is when the project ends. So they'll turn it over. So they have not been paid 100%. No contractor that's paid 100% on that road. So.
That was done in the Bonja community. I live in the Bonja community. The only work I saw, and still evidence there, is the road to the former public work minister's residence, your predecessor. No work was done in Bonja. I live in Bonja. So if the work from the main road to the former public work minister's house, is that a project talking about pavement Bonja? That needs to be investigated because I live in Bonja. That information needs to be investigated and correction has to be made. Because I live there. There's only a road from the main road to the Minister of Foreign, to the former Minister of Public Works house. That's the road I know that was ever built in Bonja. I lived there for the last 10 years.
Well, maybe that's the road.
So then we need to investigate because that is not just Bonja. From me road to the Minister of Foreign, to the former Minister of Public Works house is that Bonja. So it means that we have to relook at
we just look at the contract value and see whether it was a kilometer or 800 meters, and if that's what it was, and the work was done, it was paid for. It was a project in the Bonja community.
So when I am interested as member of this committee to look at that document, can you please submit that? Because
we can give you the contract.
That's where I live, and a lot of residents have complained about the minister and former minister being selfish that she paved the road only to her house. Now, if government has to fund that and see Bonja, that is a disservice to the community.
Well, if it's already paid now, we can do nothing about that, Senator.
Yeah, then we got to nomenclature of the project. It can't be Bonja. Maybe we say the road to the minister's house. It can't be.
Senator, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, but they say it's paid and completed. That's my point.
Yeah, because it's completed. The road goes in there and it's turned by the minister's, yes, and it comes down and stops. We can continue from there into the other communities. That's what we do. But we can't change the community. We can't change it.
That's a disservice to the community. But anyway, let me just close up by going to Lofa Road. You said it right, how you saying that there's mobilization for the Lofa Road. One of the issues as a lawmaker that I've passed and I've heard is even the road from Salaye, from Banga, from the bridge, from Simbo Bridge to Salaye, most of the homes that got demolished has not been paid for.
Yeah.
Do you care to comment about that? Because that has come to us.
It's on the budget. If you look on the budget, on our budget line, on a counterpart funding, it's in that document. You see 1.2 million should be paid to the properties owners in that corridor. That's the last payment there. So once we get that out of the Ministry of Finance, the PFMU together with our team, we go to the site and pay those who have not been paid for their properties.
So lastly, before I close, when will Lofa start seeing pavement? I'm not seeing, the road is good. And let me commend Chico. It's a very, like my colleague said, Senator Jala said, the road from Salaye to Vonjama is superb. I met you in Vonjama and said that to you. But when do we see pavement? That's the president's counter.
Again, what we want to do is to restart the project from Banga to Salaye, get it completed. We have 14 kilometers to complete. Like I said, the deputy minister should have been here, but of course we'll be in a meeting now with the Minister of Finance and the Kuwaitis to finalize. The Kuwaitis had the consortium that funded that project. So there was some issue with paying the loan coming out of the last government. We've trashed out some of the issues because we've held disbursement of 11 million to the contractor because two of the funders were not happy that the loan was not being paid, so they stopped disbursement. We sorted that out, and we've dealt with all the issues now. So once we open up disbursement to the contractor and they re-engage the project, then the conversation will continue now from Salaye to Zozo and to Konya up to Vonjama to see how we can lock that section up. Because like I said, the section from Vonjama to Foya Minikoma, the African Development Bank, we signed a feasibility studies program over the last 2-3 months. The report should be ready by next month, hopefully March. And they are interested in beginning to finance that corridor to go from Vonjama to Minikoma. We intend to reorder it from the border as we did with the southeastern corridor to come from Hapa towards Fishtown, will come from Minikoma, Foya towards Vonjama. So the gap is Salaye to Vanjima, and we're going to re-engage the IR consortium who finance Banga to Salaye once we start the project over and commit based on the initial commitment we have with them prior to the project. So that is where the president is from. It makes sense. The president can, after 6 years, you know, we can have the road paved to Lofa. Besides that,
That's not
Lofa
possible.
is a key part of, you know, our whole economic architecture. So it makes sense for us to pave the road into Vanjima. And I don't think anybody disagree. And that's something that the ministry sees as, of course, a priority.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, presiding. Mr. Minister, my colleagues have spoken, said a lot, so I won't bore this hearing. I just got a few pointed questions. When you ask for $22 million to ensure no car stuck in the mud in the first 100 days, was it a request? After the request, did you receive $22 million?
No, Senator. We did not receive $22 million. We did a project that would take us over 2 years, maintenance, that worth $22 million, yes. But we did not ask for $22 immediately. We asked for $8.9 million, which was paid to the contractors to start the 12
So the
projects. that we
$22
had.
million,
It was to begin the project over time, but it was called within 100 days we have to intervene. But the project will last for 2 years.
so you received, you are not used $22 million.
No, we have not used $22 million, no.
Mr. Minister, why you want to play outlet bridge? We have money in the budget for that. You came here and you gave reference to that bridge. Play outlet bridge, you know, the right answer. What happened?
So Senator, if you look in the plan for this year, we captured the Clays Island Bridge.
Where is it?
It's look.
Which part of the plan?
Look under the maintenance.
On where?
Look under maintenance.
What page?
Space 6.
Page
Way
6.
to the end. The admin page 6.
Page 6.
Yeah. And there's two pages.
Which document you referring to? This one?
The last one in the back.
This
Yeah,
one?
yeah, that document. But way to the back, to the end. The new works. New works.
But how you even identify the page?
Page 6.
Look at the font. Even reading glasses can see it.
Senator?
Yeah, please come help me. I
Senator?
want to see the clay algae.
Is there, Senator?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Is there?
You know what in the budget too? Yeah, what kind of?
You know,
yeah. Let me see.
Okay, we'll do our best this time. We got 306,000. It's not sufficient, Senator.
So, clay ashland bridge
Yeah.
is projected and appropriated for 2025.
Yes.
Was it appropriated for 2024?
No, it was not. And the reason why.
Why did you tell us so
No,
on our OTF before?
No, I didn't say that to you, Senator. When we took over, it was not. It was captured in the 2023 budget. And it was the bridge
Exactly.
that was not done. And future billers that I said had 2 bridges to do. When we did the investigation and realized that they didn't do it, and funding was disbursed to them.
Future
almost
builders have
65
received
million.
the
Yes.
funding for that bridge.
Yes. So we took
And
them.
we come and spend new funding for that very bridge.
Yes, but Senator,
What happens to future builders?
future bidder is currently at the Ministry of Justice and not confirmed, but should be as aligned.
We had future builder before the Ministry of Justice 1 year ago.
Senator, I
Yes,
have
sir.
been following up with the Ministry of Justice, and like I said, my legal person told me yesterday. I hope it's confirmed. They will officially write me that they've concluded the investigation and they think they are going to proceed with prosecution of future
Mr.
billers.
Chair,
For
I will
that.
ask, Mr. Chair, I will ask the committee to please have the minister to submit a comprehensive report regarding future builders and the payment that they have received. So, so we can run over this thing and be repeating ourselves. Does future builder have current contract?
No. Future Builder has been debarred by the Ministry of Public Works as one of the companies that will not get work right now until they can salvage what they have with the Ministry of Justice and the government of Liberia.
Thank you. Last year, 2024, the budget for the Ministry of Public Works, that includes road fund contribution, was projected initially at 32. When a recast was done, it was 36 million, correct?
Yeah.
Good. Out of the 36 million, the salary and compensation, everything, was 2.8.
Yeah.
I'm on your document, page 11.
Yeah.
Good. This year, 2025, the legislature has taken the Ministry of Public Works budget from 36 million to 53.9 million, correct?
Yes, Senator.
Out of the 53.9 million, Public Works maintains 2.8 million for salary and allowances. That means we have increased your budget for road works and maintenance and this and that by 17 million, correct?
Yes, Senator.
Good. When they get pothole on the road, the program hourly law never doing. That was a little call if you line by line. In closing, one of my colleagues made reference to my regular genuine call for after-mass program-based budget. The national budget is program-based. The after-mass aspect of the budget should come from the sector institutions. So for instance, you have general rehabilitation works on page 7.
Yeah.
General rehabilitation works. You have paid 4.3 million for general rehabilitation works. Now this is a bulk figure.
Yeah.
Where did you do all the work?
It's a breakdown there, Senator.
What page?
There's a page right after the full presentation. You see the page.
The simply why we need reading glasses to find the fund?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you need reading glasses. You can see it when you work. So it's on the it's right after the presentation, right after before you get to the new page, it's Annex 1, and you will see all the.
Where is Annex 1? What? I mean, at the back of the document, right?
Yes, at the back.
Yeah.
You know, mine has
Okay, I see Annex 1.
where you see pay.
Yeah.
Mine have been loosened because I had to, present, so it's not ready together.
Yeah, you need to increase
Annex
the font.
1.
You need to increase the font on this document so that it
Yeah,
can be
we'll
very
do our best next time.
Lastly, on the same aftermath, we will give you $1 million, for instance. We say go put street lights in major cities across the country. That's $1 million bulk figure. The aftermath aspect of that 1 million, Madam Genevieve, the aftermath aspect of that 1 million is to say how many street lights $1 million can procure.
Yeah.
And then we want to know which county, which city, and how many each city we see. What I can do is to tell the people in Monrovia, when I have that document from you, I can tell the people in Monrovia, this year, we passed a budget, we provided $1 million for street lights. Out of the 1 million, 25,000 street lights, for instance, will be purchased. Out of the 25,000 street lights, 5,000 will come to Monrovia, and in which district? You'll be expecting it. I have done my work. A follow-up to that will be to ensure the tracking for implementation. Then when you carry the street light to put it up, the people will know that government street light there, and it is not the executive street light. They know that the legislature approves it and the executive is implementing. But all the bulk figures, no itemization. At the end, when the streets are dark, what the lawmakers doing? When no hospital no drug in the hospital, what the lawmakers doing? So, Mr. Chair, itemizing this budget line, this bulk figure, by the sector institutions. The national budget will not itemize everything. They will not give bulk figure with a code. It is the institution that's supposed to break these things down. I just wanted to make that.
No, but Senator, let me come into that, because if you look at Annex 2, even for the road fund, the 37 million is itemized. Yes, for rehabilitation, this amount will be used. For maintenance, this will be used. But when you go down, you see the project, they counted, the kilometer, and the cost. The cost of the project, what will be disbursed, everything is there. It's itemized. If you look under the annual road maintenance plan.
So I want for to go back and forth. If they play you want to law, then increase the fund. Because nobody can see him, man. Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Senator, I will increase the Senator, your voice there.
Thank you.
I will increase the Senator.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Senator. Chair. Thank you so much. Mr. Minister, thank you very much. Okay, I'm very impressed by your presentation and your desire the desire of the government to connect the counties. Particularly so you're making reference to bridges. But I'm a little bit surprised that a little attention has been given to Margibi County. Maybe because the form is too small, I can't see a lot. Probably I've joined me over Margibi County in your presentation. But I noticed that you have highlighted to pave the streets of Kakata.
Yes.
And so I want to thank you for that. So I see you'll be beginning this. Is it all the street or a particular street I'll be paving Kakata City?
Well, I need to check the contract, but I think it's, how many kilometers will be? About 8? 8.7.
Is it within the Kakata City itself?
Yeah, the city, yeah.
8.7.
So it gets started. We may not complete all this year, but we get started.
No, they gave a lot of, they just small thing. Margibi at BC, they just do one less place in Margibi.
Yeah, but for Margibi to get 8.7 kilometers, that's a lot. Senator, that's a lot. Yeah.
Like city, you're talking about city. If I compare Monserrato, the number of streets in Monserrato, all over the place they're taking, you're talking about almost 200, 300 kilometers streets in Monserrato. So Margibi is next to Monserrato, comparing the proximity to Monrovia.
Yeah, that's the capital.
But I'm happy that you've given Kakata City. But let's go to the bridges. I'm very concerned about the bridges. And your desire to connect counties. The pro tem, who happened to be the senator from Bassa, she and I have been discussing. One of the major area or crossing point between Grand Bassa and Margibi County, when you come from District 2 around the Gibi area, that's a major crossing point. Yeah. I think it's the Farmington River around that end. I don't know whether you've been there.
Well, I haven't been there, but I know about it. Our engineers have gone there, and it's one of the corridors that we're going to look at the next budget year. Because I think that also connects to BOM.
Yeah, we're coming to BOM, but it connects to, you can use that area and connect to Kakata.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm making that reference, you know, in 1984, when Margibi was created, there were two districts, two statutory districts. The Gibi territory and the Marshall territory. The Gibi territory has been abandoned, completely isolated. And that is close to Bassa, that the Bassa speaking belt of Margibi. That area coming from Kakata through Gibi district, passing through Bolala, going to Gibi district and connecting to Grand Bassa. People have to cross that water to come to Gibi. So I don't know, you'll be willing to work with our office to make sure we provide your technician and us can provide you the information.
Yeah.
So that bridge can be considered. Another area is from Bonmine Road, somewhere they call Laketan. When you're coming from Bonmine, you can pass through that place, come to Sikita and go to Banga. I think Primo, you may have an idea of that area, coming to Salah area. So we want to connect that area too. So you don't have to come to Kakata, you can leave from from Bon Mine and just go straight to Bon County. There's a bridge there also.
Instead of coming to Calcutta.
Instead of coming to Calcutta. So those are two major breaches that we are concerned about. So we want you to see if we can capture that. Probably you didn't capture it in your 2025 budget.
No, it's not. And all the other breaches with the Bapulu, it's not. We are looking at doing those next budget year.
Okay, so we hope you will give the two corridors your attention, so we can work with you to make sure that in your next budget 2026 can be captured.
Yeah, we should.
But another area I want to raise with you is that, and I've been to your office, Minister, Public Works made a commitment. You made a partial payment from the coil from Bolakwele to Sikita. Bolakwele to Sikita. The Public Works did some road. You already did some intervention, but you did not complete it. That was an ongoing project. I went to you and I raised it. So we are appealing to you. That money should be in the budget already because the contract was there. My understanding is they should have reviewed the contract because the time the contract expired, need to review it and extend the contract. So I'm appealing to you, Mr. Minister, please consider that role into this year maintenance program.
We'll look at it.
Yeah, I went to your office and I raised it with you. And
Yeah,
I didn't see it in the report.
We'll look at it.
Yeah, so I'll be very happy if we capture the two major corridors from Basso to Calcutta and from Bon Mine Road to Bon County. So we'll work with you to make sure that at least in the next budget year we can capture that.
We'll look at it.
But we'll be looking at the Calcutta pavement seriously, so don't disappoint.
Yeah, we also want it to happen. Calcutta is a major city.
Then the other issue I want to raise with you regarding, because Senator Macaulay has left, she asked me to raise with you, is that the street light, the corridor towards Freetown border, around the border, the border town, when you go into Cape Mount, Waterside, that whole corridor, she says, dark. There's no street light there. Are you making any effort to make sure that we get street light
Well,
there?
the rehabilitation of the corridor is key, and that's what we're looking to do. If that happens, of course, we install road fixture, which will be street lights and all of that. But we have to do the rehabilitation first. If it's about looking at the border posts to try to electrify that, that's something we can do. But to put street light in that corridor, we're looking for a company now that the expression of interest to expand the road and do better road there. And so we cannot now install street lights in that corridor. If it's at the border posts, then maybe we can consider that.
Okay. Minister, are you aware about I'm quite sure you're aware about the road from Roland to Ganta, the Warbin project.
Yeah.
My understanding is that road should last for 20 years. It's gone 13 years. We only did one phase of the road.
Well, they got to overlay it. They did double layer, but it's
overlay.
Yeah.
And the government is seeing a rear of, the government plus the World Bank in a rear of 52 million. Are you aware of that?
Well, we are aware. The government is in the arrears, and my conversation, and if I have the opportunity to go to the spring meeting, which will happen, we engage the bank now for us to look at the way we did with our development portfolio with the bank on the counterpart funding. So over the last years with that project, we have not been able to commit to pay our counterpart funding along the corridor. And not just 52, it's almost 60 something, because there's two companies, that Chico and Seco. We owe Seco alone 52 million. And we were not able to pay our counterpart funding, which was responsible for maintenance and even to do the final overlay we are talking about. So I've been, of course, discussing with the Minister of Finance for us to see what we can do out of domestic debt, because it has become a debt burden on us. So the conversation with the banks now would be, let's get the loan. If the project is 15 million, let's get the loan for 15 million and complete the project. Don't say government should pay counterpart funding of 5 million and then you do 10. And along the way, we have constraints with budget and all the other expenditure. and we just roll it over, and the bank has to take it, and later on it become a burden. Yes, I'm aware.
Okay.
And we're trying to resolve that, but I don't know how we're going to pay 52 million right
Well,
now.
but Minister, in your mind, what would be the consequences if we don't do the road? I mean, you think the road gonna, because my understanding the road will get damaged, correct?
Well, we have to manage with it for now and find a way to address that. And that's why I'm also engaging the bank for us to, and they're ready to support us to set up a tool for us to get a toll policy. We have that commitment from the bank, both the African Development Bank and the World Bank, to set up the toll policies so that we start to set up toll system in our corridors, because the toll will also help to speed up collection for maintenance on this corridor, and that can cover up for some of the deficit we have in making sure we have funding for the maintenance on these corridors. Yes.
Just before I end, will you consider Corridor City for some of the street lights?
Like I said, next budget year, we're looking at taking the street lights installation into the different counties. We'll work with you because you are the one who can appropriate the place.
Okay, thank you. Thank
All right,
you.
Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you for this exercise.
Thank you for this exercise, and I think it affords us the opportunity to follow up on some of the contracts that have been given to contractors across the country. The minister has a very good knowledge on our road sector in the country. That is not in question. But sometimes projects are inherited, which some huge money has been paid, and then you can't even see the work. To continue the kind of project, we in the county have to be informed. And I'll try to pick up a couple of them here. Like the Fokwele to Farvey Road in Bonn since 2022. The value of that contract was $450,000, $135,000 is allotted for this year. Is allotted for this year. So I wanted to ask, and it is an ongoing project. How is it that no money has been paid since 2022? You're just starting to now make payment to the contractor to begin this work. That's the first, because if it is ongoing, then I see project value 430. Then I see in the column that has the font size, the previous amount paid. Previous amount paid. Is it previous amount paid in 2025? Then I see 2020. January 1st to 2025. Then it's a previous amount paid. Can you? Huh?
So which page is page 5?
Yeah, page 5.
Page 5.
Page 3, eh? 3 or page
Oh,
3.
let me see. Let me
Page
get
3.
to it.
Page 3 on Annex 1.
Oh, okay, page 3.
Bonn County, Farvey Road.
Yeah, you know the
New Millennium. You gave a company the project value of 450,000. Then 135 has been paid. But we in the county, we can see the work.
So let me talk about that. Some of the projects were projects inherited, and one of the things we had to do was to review, you know, the performance on the project. In fact, we still got some projects that were signed in 2023 that we are looking at as to whether we want to continue or terminate.
Okay, so
Some have not even started yet, but we inherited projects that were just signed.
Okay, so we'll be in touch with you
Yeah.
Because we know some of the areas that these contractors are operating, and some of them receive money, just what Senator Dillon said.
Yeah.
And they didn't do the work. And now you are taking all, try to bring all these projects.
Yeah. Yes, so. But one of the things we're doing is that any project that we lift on the implementation, we've done the assessment on it. We make sure where we are is okay to proceed.
Okay.
There's some that we cancel. We cancel a lot of contracts. We saw some of the contracts that we said won't go.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick up all those ones I have concern with and communicated to you. Yeah. Then the last one was Zidani. Zidani was doing a rigid pavement in Banga.
Rigid pavement?
Yeah. The concrete pavement is what?
Yeah, it's rigid pavement.
Okay, yeah, on the Banga Main Street. But since then, they didn't finish the work. I don't see them, coming into your database in terms of uncompleted work.
So, please take notes.
Yeah, please, I will follow up on it. The Banga Main Street. So please,
I'm not asking them to say anything.
Please note it. Banga Main Street, Zidani started doing some work. And then in previous reports that we received from the ministry had it captured. But for some reason, I don't see it here. So you'll make a follow-up
we'll check
on
and see where it's at.
Yeah. Then the last one is, what is for East Group payment for this year on the RIA road? What is in the budget for East Group?
We don't have anything in the budget.
It's not on a domestic debt?
No.
How are they paid?
And like I said, we'll be doing a technical audit. I've written the Minister of Finance for us to get the disbursement from the two banks, from the ECOWA Investment Bank, which financing that project, and also the Afri-SM Bank, two banks. There have been disbursement to East, and the way the project was done through IB, which hold of the intermediate bank, and is disbursed to the contractor. They will provide a guarantee for that. So I need the financial record on disbursement. I know we have disbursed 20 million as a government, from the government cover.
Since the work started?
Yes. So I need to know what has been disbursed from the two banks. Then we will commission a technical audit to see whether the work complete is comparable to the disbursement made on the project overall, before we can think about requesting government to make any additional payment. Because I know more have been done already.
No,
they are working. They are working because they've been getting disbursement from the two banks already based on the guarantee I will provide it. Yeah, no, they are.
Are they working?
They are working. Thank you, Senator.
I have a lot of questions, but I will not ask any. We will continue in committee room. The program has mandated that we give all committee chairs to give quarterly briefings to plenary. So we follow up everything. But the itemization center they don't spoke of. Yes, you did a lot of work to itemize and what is in the budget, but we still have to continue because certain areas are lumped together. I just want to announce that on next week, Wednesday, at 1 o'clock in this chamber, we have the first public hearing on the zoning law, the draft zoning law of 2024, which the President has sent us. I think, Minister, I'm sure you have received your invitation already, and the public is invited. But I think you did a good job today. As in the Moit observed, you have fair knowledge of the road situation in our country. I'm sure you are drawn on your past experience at the ministry. So we look forward to the achievement of the President's agenda and the national agenda on roadworks. So with that said, we'll discharge you, Sergeant, and we'll continue in committee room.
Thank you, Senators. Thank you.
Motion to